Expect these 6 things when working with good general contractors. Starting at number one, and this is in no particular order, contractors insurance. And to be more specific, I'm talking about your general liability and your workers' comp insurance. And one of the biggest reasons most general contractors, I wouldn't say every general contractor because everybody doesn't play on the same level, but your good contractors, this is for your good contractors, they're going to want this insurance from you as a subcontractor because they get audited. As a subcontractor, you may get audited, but chances are you won't get audited because you're usually working for someone that needs your insurance. But as a general contractor, as a general contractor, I will need your insurance because my insurance is going to audit me at the end of the year, and want all a list of the contractors that we've worked with that year that we've hired, as well as how much we've paid them, and they kind of match it up, and then they go back and say, all right, well, our exposure here was more than what you paid for, so they're going to charge the general contractor me more money because I worked with subcontractors who weren't insured. And so if you want to work with a lot of time we won't work with somebody if they don't have insurance. And so if you want to work with general contractors, you're going to need insurance, and your contractor will ask you for your insurance. They absolutely will. Some people don't think they will, but they absolutely will. Hey, if you're learning anything from these videos, all I ask is that you leave us a comment below, hit the like button, and please subscribe. It really helps us out knowing that we're providing value, man, because we want to see you win. Let's get back to the video. Coming in at number two, and this is probably the most important because if you don't have this, most general contractors won't work with you. I know I won't work with you, and it's the W-9. The W-9 is a form that you fill out as a subcontractor and you submit that to the general contractor. It's your you fill it out with your address as well as your federal EIN number. And this is where the EIN number comes into play because this allows me to track at the end of the year. It allows me to prepare my 1099 with how much I paid you for the year, and this allows me to get that off my books, and allows me to report that to the IRS how much I paid you. And this allows you as well to calculate how much I've paid you for the year as well. So if you work for 10 general contractors, at the end of the year, you're going to receive 10 1099s. And yeah, so you definitely need the W-9 if you're going to be out here and you want to grow your business and work with general contractors. This can absolutely stop your money flow if you don't have a W-9. And so you need to get that tax EIN number so people will want to work with you. Coming in at number three is be expected to prepare a bid for a general contractor. Now, this kind of goes without saying, but a lot of people think that they want a contract just based on handshakes and come in and speaking a verbal price. Now, this is something I recommend anyway. You should be preparing a bid for every project that you work on, so that let's say you forget about the price, or you give them a price one day and then 2 weeks you don't hear from them and they say they're ready to do the work. It's like, oh, you don't even know what you told them as far as the price wise. So everybody that we work with, I ask them to write down the price, let me know their scope of work, what they're going to be doing, and so that way we have a framework for our relationship. So don't, people think that contracts and bids, man, they create a division in our relationship. Absolutely not. It's quite the opposite, man. It allows us to create a framework so that we know the boundaries of our relationship. This is business, nothing personal. And always remember that in this business because it can get hairy. The fourth thing a lot of contractors, most good contractors, will ask you is, how long will it take? Because everybody's on a schedule and time is money. So have a rough idea on how long you think that your scope of work is going to take you. Sometimes it could be a period. You can say 1 to 2 days. It's gonna be a week. It's gonna be a few hours. And just so I have a rough idea of how long I need to give you, because most times most general contractors are gonna, all right, once you tell them the timeline, they're usually gonna account for a few more days, but they're gonna try to hold you to the fire. So make sure that you understand what you're getting into. The fifth thing to expect when working with good general contractors and even owners is that they're going to ask you to take a site visit. That's right, a site visit. And this should be a general thing that you should do in your practice, or something that you should incorporate just in general. Make sure that you're just visiting these job sites, that you're not just bidding from pictures. until you know, it's like a calculated risk almost, until you get very familiar sometimes with certain trades. I ain't gonna say every trade. Most people, most subcontractors need to visit the site. I would say a lot of flooring jobs, it's like LVT, something like that. You might not have to visit, but even those projects, the floor can be wonky. So make sure to you visit the site, because as a general contractor, I won't even hire you unless you visit the site, because you don't even know what you're bidding. So make sure you get to that site, you understand what's going on, and you know what you're getting into. So the sixth thing to expect when working with a good general contractor is for them to ask you about your process. Now, this isn't something to be afraid of. It's something more to embrace, because as a general contractor, I want to, if this is my first time working with you, especially, I'm going to ask you about the process, maybe some of the tools you may use, because I want to know if the general contractor is used to providing a high quality product, they want to make sure that the subcontractor has those same values. So I'm going to ask you about, if you're putting in time, I'm going to ask you if you're using levelers. If you're painting for me, I'm going to ask you, okay, what kind of paint are you used to using? If you've done this before. And so a lot of times, you know, you want to go out and get that experience if you don't have it, because most good general contractors are going to fill that out, you know, and kind of calculate their risk based on working with you. So you want to do as many things as you can to soften that blow, and provide as much value as you can to your general contractor clients. So